Man, I get emails all the time from people all over the world. One of the biggest things is people ask me, they say, Jamil, you claimed you went on a 37-mile walk. What actually happened? And this is a time I have been getting like all kinds of crazy prank phone calls, emails, threats. I have been getting harassed. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. My name was being slandered all over the internet. And I got into an argument with my mother. So I ended up going on a walk, and I was about to get a check, and I was about to make some money. And so I decided I was going to keep walking and get a hotel. I ended up walking 37 miles. The whole time I was walking, the area I lived at, there were individuals following me, doing the brights on the cars, the contract stalking. It's a long story, but I get to an area, Hudsonville, which is like 37 miles away, and the police come. The police wanted to give me a ride home, and I didn't want to ride home. I got an argument with my mother. I was going to go to the store, get something to drink, get a cab, go to a hotel or something. And he was like, well, 37 miles is a long walk, which I can't argue with that. You know what I mean? But so I started talking to the police officer, and so he called the paramedics or whatever. Now, this is a long story, but the people who were stalking me, they were involved with all of that. I went back to Hackley Hospital in Muskegon, and this was back in 2000, and this was a while back. This was a few years ago. And so I get back to the Hackley Hospital in Muskegon, and I asked that a doctor came out, and it just so happens it was a doctor with a red beard and red hair. And I'd never seen him before. But he asked me two questions. He asked me a question, and I said, man, I need a glass of water. Then he asked me another question, and I said, I need a glass of water. I had never been diagnosed with anything in my life. I had never been to a psychiatric place. I had never even been interviewed like that. You know what I'm saying? And this was happened after a period of being stalked and harassed and all that. And I had got signed, and my mother shows up. My mother didn't really know what was going on. She was like, how did Jamil end up in Hudsonville? And, he's here. And so they somehow convinced my mother that the best thing for me to do was to stay there at the hospital. And so she signed me involuntarily into the psychiatric ward. But this was a criminal element that had been stalking me, harassing me, sending me threats. If you're following the stuff with the Stephen Obsolete guy at M Live, in the M Live thing, that's the type of thing you can see happen. And so, the way they put him in there, and he just sitting there threatening me and using my name in videos and saying I'm a nutcase, and everything, all the names are switched around with the prosecutor. You know what I'm saying? This type of stuff that's going on, and it's low-level Freemason work from the feds, I think, that we're doing it. Because how can you have a newspaper article written out like that? You know what I mean? Like these people in the court system are Freemasons, the lawyers and stuff. Get out of here. So that's my take on it. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. So I come back the 37-mile walk, and I end up, and so that's the thing that happened. That's the big thing about it. People contact me all the time asking me about it. And, it was the criminals living in my neighborhood that were involved in all that. And the ACLU knows about it. NAACP knows about it. I want to file a criminal complaint. That's what I want to do.